Hello everybody. Yep, welcome back to my video. Another video. I'm making another video after a long time. Okay, yeah, I'm unable to shoot outdoor videos because of this COVID-19 restrictions. So it's okay. I'm now at home. I'm going to tell you today three stories. Three stories about snakes, which I've heard, and some which I've seen. So I'll start with my stories now. Okay, now let me tell you the first story. The first story about this um, giant snake. Okay, many years ago, I was working. It was after my school. I was working as a security. Then I had a friend, my working colleague. He was an old man. My partner. He told me this story. Okay, it's very interesting. Then his father was in the army. Okay, his father was in the army. Then during a mission, they were sent to Burma, which is now called Myanmar. They were sent to Burma. Then what happened was, after a hard day in the forest, they decided to take a rest. Okay, they decided to take a rest, and they were sitting down on a log. It's a fallen tree. Okay, it's a very long, thick, fallen tree, a log. They decided to sit there and have a drink. So what happened was, after a while, they were talking to each other. Suddenly, the log which they were sitting on, it started to move. It started to move. They were all surprised. How is this fallen tree? This fallen log was moving. You know what? It is not a fallen log. It was a gigantic python which was sleeping in the forest. So they were all shocked. They stood up. They ran. So they ran at a few meters away. After a few meters away, they turned around and they looked. It was a giant python. Maybe it's a Burmese python or a reticulated python. It was taking a nap. So the soldiers disturbed it. They wakened the python from its sleep. They decided not to kill it. They were having guns. They decided not to kill it. So they left that area. Okay, like what I've told in my previous video. Pythons, gigantic pythons which are this long. It is dangerous. It can swallow me. It can swallow you. It can swallow anything, any living thing that it can swallow, as long as it's hungry. Right? A cobra injects venom. A python swallows. It constricts you first. After constricting you, it swallows you. That's how it eats you. So a python always see you as a meal, as a delicious meal. So this story was told by this old man, my old buddy, many years ago. Many years ago, when his father was in the army. Okay, then this happened in Burma. All right. Now, the second story, which I'm going to tell you about, a baby cobra. A baby cobra. My cousin told me this story a few years back. In his school, during his recess time, during his break time, there was a group of students which were gathering around the garden. So my cousin went there to see what were they doing. So these students were holding a stick in their hand and they were poking onto something. My cousin went there to see what are all of you doing. They were playing with this snake. So what happened? This snake got angry. It stood up. Imagine a baby cobra. A young cobra can also stand in a hooded position. Only a cobra can do this. No other snake can stand up at a hooded position. My cousin was surprised. It's just a small, maybe a few days old, and it can stood at this position, looking at all the students. Don't come near me, my cousin was surprised. The young cobra, it looks very cute, but remember, it is still poisonous. Alright, if it bites you, the venom can still go into your system and you can die. What happened was, they reported to one of the teachers. They brought down the discipline master. The discipline master, he has to kill it. Why? It is dangerous. It's poisonous. It's venomous. It can kill It can bite and kill any of the students there in the school. So the discipline master, what he did was he took a big stick, he hit it till the young cobra died. Although it's a pity that young cobra, he died, but the discipline master, he did it for the sake of the students in the school. He did not want any of the students to get bitten and die from the snake bite. Okay, he did it he did it in a good intention of saving the children's life. So this is the second story about a snake. And now I'm going to tell you a third story, another story. This is the third story. It's about also a big python. I was living about more than 20 years ago. I was living in Ghim Moh, a place called Ghim Moh in Singapore. My block, my residential block was facing a railway track. So there used to be a neighbor, right, an Indian neighbor who used to have a garden in the railway track. Okay, he planted some mango trees, some vegetables, banana trees, all that. So in the morning, early one morning, he came and told me and my father that he saw a dead python, a very long dead python. It was maybe the python was crossing. It was crossing the railway track in the middle of the night when the train came and hit it. The train came and hit it, causing the body to tear into two. So he told me and my father half of the python's body was on the left hand side and half the body was on the right hand side. So I was very excited. I was quite young during that time. I told my father, shall we go and have a look? Then he brought me to the railway track. Yes, we saw the dead python. It was around 3 meters. It was around 3 meters long. That's quite long, or maybe more than 3 meters. I saw half of the body. The body was almost like a very shrunk because it has died, and the blood was on the railway track, on the rocks. You know, these railway tracks, they used to put rocks. You know, the railway tracks. The blood was all over the railway track, and a pity. This giant, this long python, it died. It was crossing the railway track at the wrong time. It did not know the train is going to come. It came, it hit, it killed the python, causing the body to tear into two. He died in a very pitiful way. Then, this is the third story. So, I told you 3 stories today. The first one was a gigantic python in Burma, Myanmar. The second story is about this young cobra in a school. The third story is about a long python which got hit and died in the railway track. It happened when I was young, very young, more than 20 years ago. So, okay, that's all for now. Thank you very much for listening to my stories. Okay, I'll come up with more videos if possible. Once all these COVID restrictions are over, I'll come up with more outdoor videos about jungle trekking, hiking, and outdoor adventure. So please, if you like it, like my video and subscribe to my channel. Till then,